What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and we're back here with the 5 takeaways from our 3-1 defeat against Liverpool at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday. Some say it could be a very detrimental defeat in terms of what we're trying to achieve this season. But you got to say that when you look at the bigger picture, that teams are going to be dropping points all season. So if we can find some sort of consistency from now until the end of the season, I still back us to get top 4.
Yeah, look, in terms of the bigger picture of what we really want to achieve and what our goals are, it's not disastrous. But in terms of what if we really wanted to go for the high things like a title or something, that kills that. And also just a bad feeling it causes because, rifts at half-time, Kane injuries, people performing really badly, the way we capitulated as well, all leaves a really bitter taste in your mouth. That's the thing. So hopefully we can dust ourselves down. But the big worry is it's not necessarily just this game, it's just moving forward.
Also without Harry Kane as well.
That's the thing. But yeah, let's get into what we can learn.
Let's get into it. And the first takeaway is Le Général Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. What a man this guy is.
Yeah, and he's one player probably on the Spurs team who didn't deserve to be on the losing side. Obviously, he scored the absolute cracker from 25 yards, and it would be easy to just look at that goal he scored and think, yeah, he's the only one stepping up because of the goal. But it wasn't just the goal; it was his general play.
It was the celebration as well.
Yeah, exactly. The celebration, but he had the most touches, the most interceptions, most recoveries, and most duels of anyone, including Liverpool players. So he really did step up yesterday, and he really was trying to drag the team up and you saw after we scored how he was trying to G everyone up and trying to get everyone forward, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for that alone, and it's a shame, but he was our best player on the park for sure.
If only we had 11 Pierre-Emile Hojbjergs on the pitch. Not only just in kind of the way they play football, but just in their passion and desire and aggression on the pitch and just the will to win. You know what I mean?
You saw that.
He really has that. He really has that, and you can't say that about some of the players on that pitch yesterday. But let's move on to takeaway number 2, and this is no goals expected.
Yeah, so Tottenham registered an XG yesterday of 0.1. Which is the third lowest of any team in the Premier League this season. After West Brom, again, who lost 3-0 to Villa, and Crystal Palace losing 4-0 to City, then it's us at 0.1. It was really, really poor. We really didn't create anything of note yesterday, and the only chance we actually created was that Son chance. Because the goal we scored doesn't count towards XG because it was ruled out for offside. And of 3 shots yesterday, one of them was a Son effort from the halfway line. That was one of our 3 efforts on goal.
That went nowhere near
goal. That went like near the corner flag and it did the goal. And we did create that one good opening, but that's something to probably worry about. You would say if things were different, if we would have kept it tight, it wouldn't have been that much of an issue. But the fact that we conceded so many good quality chances meant that the fact that we didn't create anything made it even more worrying.
And when you look at it on the flip side to our performance at Anfield, the result was the same at the end of the day, 2-1 and 3-1. But look at the quality of chances we were creating that day, and our XG was actually higher than Liverpool that day.
Yeah. It was a completely different performance. And on that day, our defence allowed us to kind of pick our moments to go forward and stuff and create chances when we could.
Was it Toby and Dyer on the back that day?
It was. But because I feel like because our defence was so poor, it didn't allow us any opportunity to kind of build some momentum and get forward. So that was a big problem. But yeah, really, really poor from that point of view.
All right, let's get into the third takeaway, and that is Joe Promise.
Yeah, so Rodin obviously had another start, second start in a row, and despite, I would even say for the first and third goal, he could have done more. He did show a lot of promise again yesterday. He won the most duels along with Hojbjerg, had the most clearances as well of anyone on the pitch, and in general I think he looked fairly comfortable, apart from a couple of iffy moments. But as a young player who's only the 3rd game in the Premier League, I think he shows a lot of potential, and I'm hoping that he can develop into a real player for us. And he's the only one really looking to take responsibility, I feel, at the moment, because the other defenders are really not up to it at this current time.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rodon, I've liked him ever since he's come into the side. I mean, I remember that first performance against Chelsea, which I remember there were some quite obvious errors in that game as well, but we all both came out of that game thinking this guy's going to be a player, and he played really well that day. In the Cups, he's been playing well, commanding performances, I think, against, who's he coming in? Marine and Wickham, was it? No, not Wickham. Marine and Stoke, was it, that he played against?
Yeah. Oh, was it Stoke?
Not Stoke, because he's cup tied for the Carabao.
Sanchez playing against it. It was Marine and Brett. Was it? No, couldn't have been Brentford. No, it was Sheffield United.
Right, Marine and Sheffield United. It was Sheffield United in the league. So I've liked those performances really much. When you look at the performance against Liverpool, I think that you got to say he was our best defender on the day. And for someone so young coming in, playing alongside one of the undroppables in Eric Dyer, Ben Davis in there as well, and for Joe Rodon to outshine them, it's a statement, I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's move on to takeaway number 4, and this is the Toby absence.
Yeah, so it's really peculiar what's going on with Toby Alderweireld at the moment, because I know in 2 of the last 3 games he started, we've lost. Because there was Liverpool and there was Leicester in that. But then obviously the last game he did start was Leeds, and we won 3-0 in the league I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he's only started 1 of the last 5 league games. He's started 11 league games this season. Of those 11 league games he started, we won 6 of them. That's over half. And we've only conceded 10 goals in 11 games of the games he started. Of the games he hasn't started, so there's 8 of them, we've conceded 10. So that's more. And we've only won 3 of the 8 games he hasn't started. So I just find it peculiar that he's continually being left out when it hasn't been providing the results or the defensive solidity that we need. And we haven't given him a run alongside Joe Rodon, which I think could be the partnership of most experience and a bit of physicality and a bit of strength as well, and a bit of leadership with Toby there who can lead a line. So I think the fact that we're continually starting Dyer is now all of a sudden becoming a bit of a hindrance.
Yeah.
And I think we need to give Toby and Rodon a run out, see how they run, and obviously if it doesn't work, you at least can say you tried it. But I think it's about time we try it.
I mean, that's the only thing he hasn't tried so far this season, is taking Dyer out of the team. In terms of our defensive partnerships, he's tried taking Toby out of the team. He's tried taking Davinson Sanchez out of the team, and quite rightly so with him. He hasn't put Joe Rodon in probably as much as we all would have liked. Eric Dyer is the only factor which has constantly been in that side. So for me, it's a no-brainer. You can see time and time again he's playing well, Eric Dyer. There's no two ways about it. Most of the game, let's say for 80% of the games, he's playing well. It's just these individual errors, lapse of concentration that's really hindering us. And I would like to see us play for the next few games without Eric Dyer to see how it goes.
And also, one thing that's a factor that's not being overlooked, that's being a bit overlooked as well in terms of Toby Alderweireld, is our passing out the back is nowhere near as good.
Oh, it's awful now.
It's nowhere near. How many times does he find a player in a position on the fullback side or ball over the top and creates an opening, creates a chance? And at the moment, the quality coming from the back line, from the centre backs especially, is not to standard. And the big performances we've had this season have all been with Toby. Man City, Arsenal. They've all been that run where we won 4 games in a row and we looked really defensively solid. Toby started every single one of those games. And I know we struggled against Liverpool and Leicester, which is when we lost those 2 games and he didn't have the best of times of it. But I think it's about time he comes back in.
Yeah, and I would call for him to come back in instead of Eric Dyer, not for Joe Rodon.
Yeah.
That's.
We haven't kept a clean sheet since he's come out.
Well, there you go. Let us know in the comment section below, though. Would you rather see Toby or Dyer in the starting 11? Let's see. Who would you rather see? Because I know who I would rather see right now. But let's go on to the last and final takeaway, and that is moving forward.
Yeah, so obviously it's a really damaging defeat in terms of the confidence in the team and how we set up. If you look at the bigger picture, we're 4 points off top 4 with a game in hand. We're still in all the cups, but with Kane and Reguilon out for unknown periods, this season really is in danger of unravelling if we don't adequately find a solution to the Kane problem of who we replace him. And although it might seem a bit hyperbolic to say that this could be a turning point in our season negatively, you get the feeling it could. You really do get that feeling it could. This seems more damaging than any other defeat we've had or drop points we've had this season. Yeah. This one, it really feels like it does have the ability to unravel our season if we don't find a solution quickly and we don't really have confidence in how we solve the problem. And it's a worry.
Yeah, no, it is a big worry. And in terms of how do you solve the Harry Kane situation, I think that you got to look at the last couple of times Harry Kane's been injured. 2 times ago was under Pochettino. Every time he was injured under Pochettino, Heung-min Son came in and filled that void. You got to say that we survived without Harry Kane, and some say we even got better at sometimes without Harry Kane. A lot of people said that our attack looked a lot more fluid under Pochettino when Harry Kane was not in the side. Then Jose Mourinho comes in. He suffers the first Harry Kane injury of his tenure, and we actually survived that as well when Heung-min Son was pulling us through in game after game, scoring late goals, winning us games on his own pretty much. That Villa game sticks to mind, and there was a few games around
City's
there.
1-2-0, yeah.
Just games around there where that was kind of very evident. But it was actually when Son got injured, that's when we actually just completely fell. I think we can survive with only one of them injured. If both of them are injured is when where it's really detrimental to us. But when you look at it now, we've got a sub striker in Vinicius. We've got Gareth Bale, who's kind of looks like he could be getting back to fitness. Touch wood on that one. And we've got Heung-min Son, obviously. So which one do you go for? For me, I think if you don't go for Vinicius, if his confidence not knocked already, that could really knock his confidence for 6, you know what I mean? So for me, I think that you go for Vinicius in the next game, see how it goes. And then if he doesn't perform as expected or to a standard, then you take him out and try Gareth Bale or try Heung-min Son up front. But I think we've got to persist with Vinicius.
Yeah, I think we've brought Vinicius in for a reason, haven't we? And this is exactly the reason we brought him in case of a Kane injury.
Yeah.
However, I do get the feeling he's probably going to go with Son up front and try and play around that. That's the feeling I get from just his demeanour and what Jose's done so far. But he's complaining the whole summer he doesn't have a sub-strike, doesn't have a solution to Kane being out. He finally gets the solution, and he doesn't want to use him. So I think if not Vinicius, I'd actually go with Gareth Bale, because I think he has more of the skill set to play a striker than Son does, especially in a Jose system. But we'll have to see how he does.
Jose doesn't seem to think that way.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not just Jose, but apparently he said Bale doesn't seem to think that way. So maybe I'm wrong. But if the games come so fast now. This whole season is so condensed. Yeah. That there's so many games in such a short period of time. If you start dropping points game after game, you're just going to drop like a rock, drop like a stone. So we really need to make sure we don't let this Kane injury affect us.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But that's it. Those are our 5 takeaways. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree, if you disagree. Do you have any takeaways from the 3-1 defeat at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last night? Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.